6:30 tonight. And parents now pulling their kids out of a daycare facility after they saw our story about the center there in Oakland, which was suspended for several violations involving health and safety of children.
Now, despite getting their license suspended, the daycare is actually still running, and parents say they're now renting a house to operate that business. New at 6:30, KTVU's Crystal Bailey joins us in studio after continuing the investigation into this child care facility. Crystal?
Well, you heard that right. Parents are telling me the daycare is still being run by Nicole Bell, who we reported yesterday is not cleared to work with children. And even though Bell denies it, parents say the daycare is now at an Airbnb less than half away from its original location. One parent I spoke with says he didn't realize how severe the violations were until our story aired.
Parents are horrified.
He's not going back.
After seeing our news report and finding out more about Gigi's Treehouse in Oakland, the license under Mia Allen was temporarily suspended.
We just, really tried to press her for answers, and she was able to convince us that it was more of a fault of the analyst that showed up versus a fault of the daycare or her administration.
The state working to permanently revoke the license after the daycare was cited for allowing employees without background checks to care for kids, not maintaining records, and allowing Nicole Bronson Bell, Allen's mother and a convicted felon, on the premises.
This completely upended our day in terms of, having to figure out what to do with him at the last minute, staying home from work.
Brandon Romo says his child was enrolled at Gigi's Treehouse since it opened back in January.
Plenty of toys, tumbling mats, everything that you could want for your child there.
He told us his son has been getting picked up and dropped off at their new location at an Airbnb in the Diamond neighborhood.
It was, by my count, 10 children sitting on the carpet as I was picking up my son.
The Airbnb host tells me Bell started her stay at the Airbnb on Monday, the same time Romo got a message from the Gigi's Treehouse app to drop off his son at the Airbnb's address.
She had mentioned that she was going to look into Airbnbs and tell the Airbnb host that it was a daycare.
But the Airbnb host says she didn't know about this, and Bell denied running an illegal business from the rental. When I knocked on the door at the Airbnb, Bell, who served time after she was convicted of federal wire fraud, answered the door. She denied running the daycare from the home and told me the kids were at the park.
Nicole told us that while their license was suspended, one of the ways that they could operate in private care was to have, an outdoor learning. So they started going to Diamond Park.
Bell didn't want to go on camera, but she tells me the social services inspectors don't have the whole story. She shared these images with us: sleep logs for the infants, CPR certification for the child care providers, and a web page showing the employees at Gigi's Treehouse were cleared with a background check. Except for her, due to her criminal record. She says Gigi's Treehouse is operating as a nanny share to avoid licensing regulations.
The message is for parents to really ask the right questions, follow up on licensing, know the names of the people that give your children care every day.
The Department of Social Services tells me they couldn't comment on the Airbnb situation, but confirms the daycare is prohibited from operating with their license. Nicole Bell assures me she is appealing the temporary suspension, and the Airbnb host says she's trying to get Bell out of the unit.
But as you said, using that nanny share to
It's
get
kind
around.
of a workaround.
Yes, somewhat of a loophole in the licensing.
All right, Crystal, thank you.
Thank you.